McMansion and Wife is the third episode of the 35th season of The Simpsons. This is directed by Debbie Bruce Mahan, and as always there will be spoilers as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. I won't go into a tremendous amount of detail, but I will talk about the key plot points and share some thoughts and personal highlights. And the first highlight happens very quickly as we get a cameo from Dick Van Dyke, who voices a version of himself, which I rather liked. The main narrative focuses on new neighbours who have just moved in, and of course Marge and Homer and the kids go over to greet them. And we learn that the husband works at a very fancy car dealership, and the next thing we see, Homer is driving a Lamborghini, and he's rather enjoying it, but he's quite suspicious about why they would want to be such good friends with him. And with Marge as well, we see Marge enjoying a lot of activities like getting massages and going pony riding. Absolutely adorable, good fun. But Homer is suspicious, and we do have that bit of suspense. Why are they really wanting to be good friends with Homer and Marge? It's certainly not what we're used to from their neighbours. Well, Flanders does want to be good friends with Homer, but that never went according to plan. But we do find out eventually, and I have to say, I didn't see this coming. I was trying to work out what it could be, and it makes perfect sense. And as I said, these are spoilers. It turns out they're wanting to do a lot of renovations. And to make it worse, they've gone away to Bora Bora while the renovations are happening. So they don't even have to listen to the construction. And I rather enjoyed it when Marge and Homer realised that all they could do was get out the chairs and mutter. And Abe joined in with his muttering chair. I found it pretty entertaining. And also, I completely agree. I know renovations need to happen, but as somebody who works from home, I find them exceptionally annoying when they're happening in other people's houses. It has to happen. But Marge and Homer aren't happy that it's happening, and ultimately this part of the narrative concludes in a way that I thought was pretty decent, because they find out that actually that street is a historical landmark because of the founding of Springfield, and they're not allowed to do those renovations. I feel like it is a bit of a stretch, but nevertheless, I thought it was pretty entertaining when Homer went to the car dealership to reveal all of this and restore everything. It was a good scene. I liked it. Not a bad way to end things at all. There were also some comments about maybe the kind of people who go for flashy cars. I'm sure not all of them are correct, but also I think some of them might be. So this part of the narrative I didn't mind. I thought everything worked really well. We had some good scenes. None of them, apart from the muttering chairs. I'd say the muttering chairs was a scene I really thoroughly enjoyed. Other than that, no personal highlights from this part of the narrative, but I did enjoy it in general. The other part of the narrative focuses on Nelson, and I liked this to begin with, but honestly I didn't love the direction in which it went. Lisa is fed up of Nelson being a bully, so she has some videos of him doing things that would ruin his image. And obviously she threatens to show these if he doesn't stop bullying. And obviously anything that's anti-bullying is going to be good, but I didn't love where this part of the narrative went. I just didn't really care for it. It did tie in nicely with the main narrative, so that part of it I did like. I thought that bit was well written. But in general, I wasn't that bothered about it. I didn't think it was particularly great. But as a subplot, I suppose it's fine. The only other bit that I want to mention happens near the beginning. Might have been in the opening scene, actually. Well, when they go over to the new neighbour's house and Homer points out that times have changed now, so he no longer strangles Bart. I thought that was a nice way to explain that. Well, you're not going to be seeing Homer strangling Bart anymore because it's no longer acceptable to view on television. So I love it when The Simpsons is self-aware. I think it's so fun and definitely quite clever. So I like that. The other personal highlight would be the muttering chairs. I liked that as well. So in general, it's not my favourite episode. It definitely wasn't too bad. I liked the suspense of waiting to find out why the neighbours wanted to be their friends. Maybe they could have kept that suspense a little bit longer. But in general, not too bad. McMansion and Wife may not be my favourite episode of The Simpsons, but it wasn't too bad.